Good morning, First Baptist Church. Just wanted to share some words of encouragement with you. I know so much has been happening here in New York, so many changes. Things are not very much fun right now. But we do have encouragement that comes to us from God's Word. And I wanted to share with you this morning from Mark chapter 4, where Mark writes, "That day when evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, 'Let us go over to the other side.' Leaving the crowd behind, they took him along just as he was in the boat. There were also other boats with him. A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, 'Teacher, don't you care if we drown?' He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, 'Quiet, be still.' Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. He said to his disciples, 'Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?' They were terrified and asked each other, 'Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him.'" Let's just walk through this passage for 2 or 3 minutes. Jesus has a plan for his disciples, and it's right there in verse 35. His plan is to take them over to the other side of the lake. The disciples get into the boat with Jesus, and they obey that plan. They're going to go with Jesus to the other side of the lake. And then the unexpected occurs in verse 37. There's a furious squall that comes up. An unexpected storm comes upon the Sea of Galilee and just begins to swamp the boat with water and with waves. And then the disciples react to this in verse 38. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" The disciples respond to the storm, the unexpected storm, with fear and with panic. Instead of praying, they accuse Jesus of not caring about them. And then Jesus responds to the disciples by rescuing them. In verse 39, Jesus got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm. Well, why does Jesus respond like this? The answer is because he does care for them. But he not only rescues them, he also rebukes them in verse 40. And he said to his disciples, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" I don't think Jesus rebukes them because they were afraid. It's natural to be afraid. It's natural for us in these days to have a level of fear regarding this virus, regarding the unknown, not knowing what exactly it will do and who it will affect. He's not rebuking them for being afraid, but he's rebuking them for not facing their fear with faith. Fear says, "God, don't you care? God, you don't care." Faith says, "God, you are my helper and my shield. And even though I'm afraid, I know you're there to help me." The disciples respond to this in verse 41. They were terrified and asked each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey him." And they respond to this with awe. Dear friends, we know that the world is full of storms, and we know that we're in the midst of one of those storms now. And it's okay to be afraid. But as followers of the one who calms the storm, let's choose to face our fears with faith. We're praying for you, and we know we're going to get through this. And we hope that you'll join us this Sunday morning as all of our services are live for you. God bless you all.